Obviously, a lot of people are wondering what the hell is going down with the WWE in regards to the sale, and most importantly, is Vince McMahon going to be running the company, especially when it comes to the creative process. I think a lot of people have been really enjoying what Stephanie, Triple H, and Nick Khan were doing. Now Stephanie is out, Vince McMahon is back in. What the hell is happening with Triple H? Guys, I'm going to keep you updated along the way, so make sure you subscribe and don't forget to ring that bell. This way you're going to get notified every single time a new video drops. We're going to actually jump into some very interesting stuff from Fightful Select. According to Fightful Select, sources within both Disney and Comcast revealed that they heard rumors of their respective companies purchasing World Wrestling Entertainment. The sources are said to be current employees of both Disney and Comcast and spoke with the outlet, obviously, because they're trying to be anonymous. In the report, Fightful Select detailed that both sources expressed their angst when it came to the possibility of working with the current executive chairman. Specifically, both claimed that they doubted that any major company would seek to retain Vince McMahon's services, if at all possible, in the situation of a sale. Now, this is where things actually get really interesting because, of course, there's some mixed reports about Tony Khan and his father buying WWE, and there was some talks about that saying, suggesting that the Khan family would actually keep Vince McMahon. Really interesting. But yeah, I think if this is a massive media company, such as Comcast or Disney or, maybe a company like Endeavor, I think one of these three companies, if they were to buy WWE, you're probably not going to see Vince McMahon in the future of WWE. I think that is a transition where they are not going to keep him, which is very, I think, in my opinion, in terms of creative, would probably be a great idea. I'm not saying Vince McMahon is not valuable. Obviously, we saw how big WWE has grown because of Vince McMahon. I'm just saying creative process-wise, there's a lot of things business-wise, operations-wise, where WWE did not look so good in recent years. And that's where I favor Nick Khan, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon. So this is obviously where I get a little bit more intrigued because companies that could utilize Vince McMahon would be the companies that more than likely would keep the company public. So nobody exactly knows for sure if NBC, Comcast, right? Nobody knows for sure if Comcast and Disney have plans to keep WWE as a publicly traded company. But the belief is that a media company who does end up owning WWE, if they do, more than likely would keep the company as a publicly traded company. Whereas maybe if the Saudi Arabia investment fund does in fact close the deal, the plan would be to go private. I think if WWE goes private, Vince McMahon will remain in power as head of creative. Now, obviously, this is a very, very interesting time to be employed by the WWE because there's reports that have come out that Vince McMahon has already started doing his job by telling other people that they're doing things wrong. Now, this is where it becomes really bothersome because if you're Vince McMahon and you just got back into the company and you're already starting things off with a negative connotation, a negative feeling, if that's what you're doing to the employees that work in headquarters, if you're sending out text messages, if these reports are true, that's just not a good feeling, man. And from somebody who's worked in corporate America for 10 plus years, I think most people just want to be appreciated. I think a lot of people want to see that their work is actually making a difference and they want to feel appreciated for making a difference within their company. And I think there's two different leadership styles that you see not only from Triple H, but also from Vince McMahon. And I just think that's the wrong way to approach it. Now, here's the thing. If Vince McMahon wanted to come back in and Vince McMahon was very like, look, I'm not going to be hands-on. Paul Levesque, you do the creative. I'm going to make sure the company's doing this, this, and this. Like, if you created a system to succeed, it probably could work. But the thing is, Vince McMahon apparently doesn't work that way because Vince McMahon's first thing is to start texting people about his unpleasant, unhappiness about people not doing things correctly, which, I think at this stage of the game with Vince McMahon, if I'm just being completely honest with you, I think Vince McMahon is going to try and sell it to somebody who will take the company private so he can have more control. I think that's what it comes down to. And it goes back to what I was saying about NBC and Disney, right? I think NBC and Disney can probably benefit more from WWE being a publicly traded company. I think NBC and Disney, a lot of people are joking on social media that you're going to see Mickey Mouse on Disney, okay? I don't think that's the case. I genuinely don't believe that's the case. I don't think we'll see that type of stuff. I don't think WWE will become rated G. Now, I'm not saying I want Disney to buy WWE, but I think a company like Disney or NBC, like, probably you won't see that much change with WWE's physical product. At least the way I see it, the optics so far, I think they would be more in favor of Triple H running the show. I don't think they would be putting in their own staff because these companies don't really understand the wrestling business to the magnitude that Triple H and Stephanie did. And, I think when you have people like that running the company, I think you're going to see better results. And I think Disney and NBC, the optics of this deal would be to make sure that the company does succeed. Now, with that being said, you got to think about TV rights and distribution as well. And this is another big thing. Could WWE put SmackDown on NBC, or does Raw go on NBC, Channel 4, or whatever it is, Does WWE go on ESPN Plus? Does WWE go on Disney Plus? I think that's a whole different conversation to have. And obviously, with Disney, they have, to my understanding, they have Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus. Do they do the monthly streaming pay-per-views on the network? This is a thing that a lot of people aren't talking about, but pay-per-view distribution. New ownership could very well change this, right? WWE had the WWE Network, then the network basically transitioned into Peacock. Does it make sense for ESPN Plus to have WWE pay-per-views for free within the monthly membership cost? Or is it going to be like UFC and boxing and other events where you got to pay $79.99 like UFC? These are all things that a lot of people have to consider when moving forward. And you got to consider, why WWE is pushing this so soon. And I think a lot of that has to do with Vince McMahon. And again, this guy has always been, he's always been the forefront of WWE. He's always made WWE successful. And I don't agree with some of his booking and some of his business decisions personally. And I get it. It's a business, and I'm just a YouTuber talking about it. But at the end of the day, that's just kind of how I see it. I think Vince McMahon has had a really, really good career as far as running WWE, and obviously WWE is big for this reason. But it's time that if somebody's going to buy WWE, they're going to do things the right way. And I don't see Vince McMahon being the right way. And I don't also think there's something wrong with that, being 77 or 78 years old, however old he is. It's just the world's changing. Wrestling is changing. Fans are changing. How we consume television is changing. And I think Triple H, and even for that matter, I think Tony Khan too, whether you like their booking or not, I'm just saying from a business perspective, they understand how wrestling and the world is changing. And it's going to be interesting. What do you guys think in the comment section down below? Don't forget, if you want more videos like this, click that subscribe button. I'm going to keep you guys updated. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.